Hey blade fans, yes, you see before you a Microtech out the front knife. My only one at this point in time. And I've been meaning to bring this to you for quite a while. Other reviewers have covered this blade in various forms. And it's a neat little out the front knife. One of my favorites. I've had Ultratechs and Troodons and so forth, but this one's sort of sticking around with me. The model on this one is the 225-1. This is the black handle with the lighter chromed activation button, trigger, slide switch, whatever you want to call it, and the two-tone blade. And this one is in, they make them in several different steels. Beautiful knife. We're going to get to the aesthetics in just a moment. However, let's substantiate what we have for steel here. This is the XHP. So Carpenter CTS XHP steel. And you can look that up. If I think of it before we close, I'll go out to Knife Steel Compositions and tell you a little bit about Carpenter XHP CTS or CTS XHP. At any rate, this was, I believe, the first, other than some Marfione customs, that has the slide switch on the side and not on the edge, aka, or a la, I should say, Benchmade, infidel, right? It's a quick, snappy little out the front. May or may not be able to own out the front knives in your area. And I noticed my light just went out. That happens fairly frequently, doesn't it? Let's change that bulb. All right, I think we got a little more light back on the subject here again. And what I was about to do was read you off some quick specs from the Microtech product page. We're just going to leave it the way it is, all right? Crank up the exposure instead. So this is a black DLC coating on a blade that is 2.92 inches long with a cutting edge of 2.625 inches, closed length 4.33 inches, and overall length, as you see it here, 7.25, 7.25 inches. And it is a stainless pocket clip, tipped down, which you'll see in a moment. And the weight is only 2.2 ounces. The designer is Tony Marfione, who is the owner and, shall we say, the, what's the word I'm looking for? Creator of Microtech knives. He's the guy that started the company. And as far as the steel composition goes, I'm lagging on here a little bit, but bear with me. Got to spell knife right in order to bring this up. So what we're looking here for is Carpenter CTS XHP. So there's a little bit from Knife Steel Compositions on it. You can freeze frame on that if you wish and zoom in. Read you a little bit real quick. CTS XHP is a air hardening, high carbon, high chromium, corrosion resistant alloy which can be described as either a high hardness type 440C stainless steel or a corrosion-resistant D2 steel. It possesses corrosion resistance equivalent to type 440C stainless, and that's a lot of corrosion resistance, as we probably know, but can attain a maximum hardness of 64 HRC, approaching that of D2 tool steel. So what are they saying the hardness is if they give it? Microtech is not giving the hardness that they temper this to, or harden it to. Oh well. So very hard, D2-like stainless though, steel, unlike D2. All right, well, I'm blathered on long enough about technical details. One thing you'll notice, and I heard this on another review as well for the Dirac, is a little bit of blade sing there. You can hear it. A little bit of ring on the way back in. Understand you can fix that with a whole bunch of oil if you don't want to take it apart. And according to Microtech, if you take this apart, you void the warranty. There is your glass breaker, your pocket clip, very deep carry, as are most of the Microtech out the front clips. Got that nice Microtech branding on there. And we've got a serial number as they publish on all of theirs. What do I have? 2988. And do we have a manufacture date? Yes, 12/2019. So about a year old as of this video. You can see a nice two-tone blade. I like the way they did that. Got the name, the branding, and then some very small branding for the XHP, USA. Neat little holes going straight through. Nice touch. And you got your tri-wing screws, for which you will need a special tool if you wish to void your warranty and disassemble this. But I found one of the ways to get rid of blade sing on my less expensive out the front knives is to take them apart and put some grease in that, light grease in that spring assembly. If you've never seen it, it's not that complex. There's one long spring in there. You do get kind of a hollow sound in there. That drives some people crazy, but I don't fidget with this enough to have it really bother me. It's a thin blade. Did they give us the blade stock? And it's very pointy. Let's see if they gave us the blade stock on Microtech. Blade thickness, 0.095 inches. So pretty thin, but not dangerously so. See if we can catch a focus on that. There we go. Yeah. So you can see it tapers down pretty quick right about there. And yet fairly thin edge for a short grind. Nicely done switch. I'm calling it a switch or an actuator because, or a trigger, because I really don't know which term they prefer. I'm not that much of a out the front knife aficionado, I guess. I do notice that the tri-wings are countersunk, so they're well below the surface of the T6 aluminum. Everything's nicely coated. The thing I don't care for about aluminum handled knives is you use them a little bit and yeah, they begin to look pretty world worn. That's why some of the more recent Microtech's handles I see coming out are kind of a zombie apocalypse, pre-beaten up, scratched and whatnot. So then you don't have to worry about it. You can do what you want with it and it's going to look the same the day you bought it and then years down the line. Well, do you want to see it next to some side opening manual knives? How about next to the Griptilian? Yes, it is a small knife next to the Griptilian, both top to bottom and in length. And next to the Freak, even smaller looking. It's a small knife. Close it up, and it pretty much hides in the hand. Got your glass breaker there, skull crusher, whatever you'd like to use it for. A lot of people don't like that because it sticks out when you've got it in the pocket. And when you're reaching for the knife sometimes, or not for the knife, but you're reaching your pocket for other things, you may kind of strafe the back of your hand across that. It is a switchable left and right carry by loosening the glass breaker. And let's see, you might need a special tool for that as well, because that's a tri-wing. But you could probably very carefully put a cloth over it, grab it with some pliers very gently if you don't want to scratch it up, and back that out, swing the clip around to the other side. It's usually how it works. And we've got 6 screws holding it together from the actuator side. There's that spring sing again. I'm not going to go crazy over it. I like the knife. This is definitely simply a collector's piece. Take it out every now and then, play with it a little bit. But figure I'd toss it into the bunch of knives I've been reviewing lately. Cast it against the Kubis and the Wee knives and the Two Sons and all that other stuff to represent Microtech. Hope you like this. Give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe. This Old Sword, signing out.